Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're all having a lovely evening. So today I wanted to follow up on a couple of videos I did in this company that makes a laptop called the Framework. They're trying to make a laptop that is right to repair friendly. In the beginning, I was very critical of this company for using right to repair branding, but their social media team refused to discuss whether or not they'd make schematics available. As many of you know, the concept schematics or die is something that I put on a t-shirt in 2015, and it was my way of drawing my line in the sand so that at a later date, I wouldn't be able to come out with some sort of bullshit compromise and claim that we had accomplished something with right to repair if you weren't even able to get a schematic to be able to do a basic repair on a motherboard. This is something that used to be very, very normal back in the day, and everybody acts like it's crazy and insane and no way you could do it now, and I did hold myself to that particular standard. And I was very critical in this video that I did about a year ago. Now, the person who runs the company said that they would be open to potentially providing schematics just to technicians, and they also sent me a device to check out, and honestly, it is one of the most repair-friendly devices that I've ever gotten from any manufacturer of a laptop or anything that I've ever used, and I went over it in this 1-hour review that you could watch here. I was actually very happy with it. Now, I had a conversation with the CEO of the company, and he explained to me why it was that they did not feel comfortable making schematics available. Something I've always said on this channel is I would kill to just be able to have an honest conversation, to sit down with Tim Cook or somebody at Apple and just let's just bypass all this safety security bullshit. Can you just give me the honest reason that I can't buy a charging chip? Just be real with me. Just for 5 minutes, let's just put aside all of our aggravation and can you just give me an honest assessment as to why it is I can't buy a charging chip or I can't buy this or that or the other to be able to fix your products? Because the schematics wind up getting leaked to VNetFix anyway. So, I mean, all these other answers you're giving are obviously just not it. What's the real answer? Let's just bypass the lobbyists that are just, making shit up because they don't know anything, and, the people that show up at the hearings and say that the game plays the console and all this kind of crap. Just give me the real reason. And they actually gave me the real reason. Now, I can't share that with you because he shared it in confidence, but the reason that he gave me for why they weren't sharing schematics at the time, as a small company, actually made sense to me. Regardless of whether I agree with it or not, or why they were limiting access to schematics, there was a particular liability concern that he had, not in terms of you fixing your device and breaking it yourself. It was something else altogether, and it's killing me that I can't tell you what it is, but I want to respect the fact that he was open to talking to me about this, and I will respect his request for confidentiality in that conversation. If he chooses to share that reason at a later date, I will happily encourage him and cheer him on as he does so. Needless to say, he emailed me today to say that they decided to open source the schematic to it, or at least upload it to GitHub or something like that. So over here, this is on GitHub, it's Framework Computer Mainboard, and you have a block diagram, and you also have what looks like the beginning of a schematic. So I thought I'd go over that with you all and just give you some thoughts. Now, obviously, this is not the same as the schematics that I get for MacBooks, because when you take a look, the schematic for this MacBook that I have from VNetFix is 131 pages. It's very detailed, and it also comes with this thing called a board view. So when you have a connector or a chip on the board, the way that you figure out what it is with the board view. So the board view will tell you this chip that you see in the schematic is this chip over here. So if you're looking at the board, let's just say you take a look at the board and this thing over here is burned. You don't really know what this is without a board view. You don't know what that is in the schematic. Having it available with a board view allows you to click this little button over here and to be able to see, oh, that's C7051, which is 68 microfarads, 20% tolerance, 16 volts. It's a tantalum. Here's the casing that it's in and all that, so you know how to replace it. This one over here is a little bit more basic. Again, this is only 10 pages at the moment. You get a block diagram of how everything's put together. You get the power system architecture there and an idea of what chip is making what power rail. You get, this is the EDP connector. That does not stand for emotionally disturbed person. That stands for embedded display port. So that's for your internal screen. You have the, a camera over here. Wi-Fi. What else do you got? I think there's an SSD one over. Yeah, you got your trackpad, keyboard. If you scroll onwards, you get some sensors, the SSD schematic. Now, again, this is a little bit more basic. For instance, if we were to take out the charging circuit, over here you have, it says here's a MOSFET attaches to the charging chip which attaches to these rails over here. This is not exactly as detailed as the Apple schematic because it is only a few pages. Like, again, this is all you get for ISL 9241 for charging chip over here. If we were to compare and contrast that to the Apple schematic that got, I don't know, leaked off the back of a truck somewhere. As you can see, the ISL 9240 charge chip schematic over here, you have the values of every single resistor, every single capacitor, names of transistors. You get a little bit more with this than you do with this, but the important thing to understand here is that this is a start. They released 10 pages of a schematic to the general public on GitHub. And to my knowledge, there is not right now a single laptop manufacturer that releases any of their schematic, like not even 10 pages of it. So, you have a Toshiba, an Acer, an Asus laptop, a Gigabyte laptop, a Razer laptop, a Dell, a Compaq, an HP, any of these major companies, even Lenovo, you go to their website, you're not getting 100 pages of a schematic. You're not getting 10 pages of it, you're getting 0. So this is a really cool start. I think this is great. Again, is this everything? No, but this is yet another step in the right direction. They've consistently decided to make steps in the right direction, and I commend them for doing so. And as I said, many people have asked me, why am I using a ThinkPad if I like the framework so much? The reason I'm using my ThinkPad is because I allowed my framework to get stolen. I went to a restaurant. I was dead tired. I had no sleep that day. I left my bag there. I left. I went back later, but by the time I went back, somebody else had already taken the bag that was at my table. So unfortunately, everything in the bag was lost, and the guy claimed that was his bag, which is obviously bullshit. But somebody from the restaurant actually took my bag and brought it behind there, but then somebody claimed it was there. Long story short, I was a dumbass, and I allowed my bag with that to be stolen. I don't use a framework because I decided to go back to my ThinkPad just because I was too cheap to buy another laptop. But I'm honestly considering buying another one. I don't need another laptop. This laptop does everything that I need it to do. I don't need something super powerful because I don't really do video editing or anything crazy. Admittedly, I do miss the ability to charge the laptop over USB-C. It allows me to charge the laptop in my car, which I do miss. I can't do that on this one. But I'm honestly thinking of buying another one just because I hate to use the I word. It makes my fucking skin crawl. But from the influencer perspective of it, I honestly think it's good that people see that I'm using that. Because this company is really doing everything that they can to stand by the ideals of right to repair. And even if they're doing it piecemeal in small steps at a time, they're doing it and they're engaging in good faith. This isn't like, these like the Apple program where it's like, they released a self-service program and an independent repair provider program, and they still don't provide jack shit with regards to schematics. You can't even buy a charge port. You can't buy LCD cells by themselves or anything like that. They're actually trying to make things available. They're doing the right thing. And something I've said on this channel is that in many areas, it's really difficult to vote with your wallet. So, just to give an example, somebody will say, well, if these consumers are idiots, why don't they just buy a phone that offers what they want? And something I'll say is, okay, cool. Well, by all means, vote with your wallet. So, show me a smartphone, a modern smartphone that will give you the schematic. I'm waiting. You're not allowed to choose a rotary phone. No rotary phones, because you're going to have to go back to rotary phones to find a phone manufacturer that will actually allow you to have the schematic to the effing device. Or let's say we're talking about cars. I was talking about the right to repair, the ballot initiative that happened in Massachusetts 2 years ago. If you want to buy a car that's like a fully, from a really right to repair friendly company, again, even that's becoming difficult. Again, Tesla are assholes with a lot of things when it comes to repair. But one thing that a lot of people don't recognize is, when it came to lobbying against it and trying to convince your average voter that right to repair was related to racism, redlining, sexual assault, rape in a parking lot, all sorts of crazy shit I talked about in some older videos. When you take a look over here, one of the things that you see is General Motors. That's, again, your Chevy, GMC, a lot of the famous iconic American brands are in there. Toyota, Ford, Honda, Nissan. These companies spend millions upon millions of dollars to run commercials trying to convince you that you would be raped in a parking lot if right to repair passed in that state. It's really difficult in many other fields to actually buy something, to vote with your wallet, because there's no options, because everybody's an asshole when it comes to repair in many different industries. But if there is an option in a particular industry to support a company that is not going out of their way to be anti-repair, I'm honestly kind of thinking of spending $1,400, even though I have a perfectly working laptop in front of me, just to be able to say that I purchased and spent money and own a laptop from a company that is actively doing things that are pro right to repair. So I just wanted to issue this update. because the last time that I spoke about framework on this channel, I said that they were only making schematics available to repair shops, not everybody. And at this point, again, you can go on GitHub and see the schematic. I do hope that they publish the rest or more of it with time. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, we'll see. But I really do appreciate that they decided to go ahead and do what I believe is the right thing for the branding that they're putting out there. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something.